Oh my God. I have been sick for 2 weeks now. And before that, I had to get surgery on my face. I've been down and out for like a month, so I had a lot of time to watch stuff. So that is my segue into Des and Jeff watch stuff, plus video games too, because I got to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. Oh my God. All right. So we're going to talk about what you've been watching, because you've been watching stuff, and I've been watching stuff, but I had to actually think about what I watched. You were like, I got things to talk about. So what has Desiree been watching in the last couple of weeks?
Well, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I couldn't wait to tell you about the show that I was watching a couple weeks ago. And I want to say maybe it's on Discovery, I believe.
Okay.
It is called Flip the Strip.
Flip the Strip.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
What is Flip the Strip? Let me guess. It has something to do with Las Vegas.
It does.
I just think this show should be seen in Las Vegas. I got to start talking to some local TV stations in Las Vegas because the amount of time we talk about Las Vegas on our show, we should just be running the show in Vegas. I'll talk to Tony Pacelli about that.
Yeah.
And Danny Miner, because he has a TV show out there too.
There you go. We'll have to do a lot of on-location stuff though.
That's fine. Okay. Tell me about the Flip the Strip.
Well, Flip the Strip is a home reno show. I love those renovation shows,
I know. You look at our house and you're like, why aren't you doing this?
No, it just all looks like it's too hard to do, so I'm good with the way we are. But the twist in this one, because there's been...
Come on, baby!
There's been a few reno shows done in Vegas, but this one stars 4 guys from Thunder Down Under.
Okay, for someone who doesn't know what Thunder Down Under is, what is it?
It is a male review show in Vegas, and I think they have one up the Poconos maybe somewhere. I know they're all over, but so there's 4 very
sexy men. Say it.
All right, I wasn't gonna say that. I was
you
gonna
can
say
it.
muscular and well-built men that do this show at night, and during the day they help renovate houses.
Cool.
And it is pretty neat because from what I can find out, all the sleuthing I did to see is this real, because I always want to know what's fake and what isn't.
Right.
They actually are like tradesmen over in Australia where they come from.
They're Aussies.
They like one's a plumber, one does
wait, Thunder
woodwork.
Down Under. Okay, I get it now.
Wow. Ooh, you're slow today.
Okay.
So yeah, they actually have these businesses over there, but they're over here doing the show right now. But of course, they make the show a little campy, and they jump up on the counter to pull down an old cabinet, and they're on the bar. You know what I mean? They're just throwing. It's a huge advertisement for Thunder Down Under.
Are they doing the reno like with no shirts on and stuff?
Absolutely.
Do they have cowboy hats too?
One might.
Like those other guys that we see on the strip all the time, the cowboys?
With the cowboys, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you're not going to take me to the show in Vegas, are you?
Yes!
Oh. No.
No.
It's the same kind of thing, you think, or is it a little bit classier?
No, I'm sure this is an actual show. They are on stage, they dance, it's all, choreographed, but yeah, they're muscular and their shirts are off, and it's the whole Magic Mike type of thing. A lot of people get into that. It's fun. But watching them actually do this work, I was pretty amazed by it. I was impressed.
So that's your one show that you're watching.
Yeah.
Another show you were watching that you...
Completely different. Completely different.
A bunch of what, young kids on a raft or something?
Yeah, it's Survive the Raft. So it is, I think this one was on Peacock, maybe? I don't remember. Don't ask me. Anyway.
I'll look it up. Okay. More work for me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's, I think 9 people on this, and it says raft, but it's a good sized raft. It's just not a boat. It doesn't have a motor. They can't take it wherever they want. But it's got beds and a bathroom and a shower and everything. All they have to really do is feed themselves. So they have to catch fish and and forage and stuff like that. But every single person is completely different from the next. You know, you have all races, colors, religious, and all kinds of different beliefs. And one's a vegan. The poor girl.
Oh, what's she gonna eat?
They're in the middle of the ocean. Pretty much, they're down there spearfishing, and she's like,
"Get me some kale." Is that what she said?
Pretty much. So yeah, and then what they have to do is work together because at the end there's always like a monetary prize they're trying to win as a group. But then they throw this twist in where they can start voting people off and trading them for a new one. Oh no, they bring a new person in every week, and they have to decide, does one of the old group go and keep the new one, or do they just toss the new one? But the new one, of course, always has some kind of skill that they didn't have, or they're starting to get annoyed with one of the people, so they just want them off. And what it's coming down to is strict personalities. They're not even paying attention to who's not able to help anymore. They don't even care. They're like, you made me mad, you're out, and they're ganging up against each other. It's such a perfect little slice of what is actually happening in the world. And this is actually, this experiment was done back in '73.
Oh.
So they're kind of redoing
but
it.
It's not a 70s. It's not from 1973.
No, this is a new show. This is brand new.
Okay. So
like
let's rate the two shows you're talking about. The stripper guys.
You want me to rate the stripper?
Yeah, rate the stripper show. The stripper guy house.
Like for entertainment value.
Yeah,
or like content.
I don't know. Like okay.
Because those are two different scores.
Any of our viewers that are female will say.
Do I recommend this show?
Yeah.
It's a 7.5.
Okay.
You're not really learning anything from it. It's a lot of eye candy.
Okay.
But it's interesting because they're actually talented like tradespeople.
So you're saying like if there's like a dude gonna watch the show, like a dude like me, he ain't gonna get much out of it.
Oh, I would never tell you to watch this show because you would just make fun of them.
I would, wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. No, they can do stuff I can do. They're handy.
And it's only maybe 6 episodes, so once you're through it, it's over.
So what about the Raft show?
Well, that is actually still currently airing, so it's one of those ones I have to wait every week.
Yeah. How do you rank that one?
I like that one. I'm going to say that one's a good 8.2.
Ooh, you really like that one, huh?
I like it just because I can predict what they're all going to do to each other. You can already see the mean girls lining up on one side, and they brought a new guy in who's ready to like throw a wrench in everything, and he's making everybody trust him, and in the back he's like, you know, just twisting the knife, and I love it.
So you do that. Okay, so that one is, general audiences would enjoy that.
Yeah, I think so.
You are the reality girl. You love reality shows, so.
I know. I think the best thing I've watched recently was it was a reality show set in a 911 dispatch center.
Oh,
in
cool.
Ohio. I think it was in Ohio. Man, I could never do that job.
Well, maybe in Ohio.
They are so. It was like outside of like Toledo, I think. Maybe could be wrong. Oof, rough. It's rough. A lot of rough stuff goes on, and I would not be able to just do my job the way they do. I'm not cut out for that stuff.
So you've been binging a lot of reality shows lately.
I've had a lot of downtime.
I know. I'm not
good all the time, so look, I watch TV.
I'm just saying. I'm not blaming you.
No, I'm just saying. Like people probably wonder why does she watch so much TV?
No,
you know.
I'm saying reality TV versus like movies and TV shows.
I totally prefer documentaries and reality TV.
Well. Let's talk about video games. What have you been playing? Because I don't know if the audience understands this. We are both gamers too.
I can't call myself a gamer.
Yeah, you can.
I'm such a game snob. I have like maybe 3 games that I play.
Yeah, because it's like the first game you really got into in a long time was Fallout New Vegas.
No, the first one I think you made me play was Fallout 3.
3? Well, New Vegas was the main one though.
One of the two, yeah. Those two were my first.
So that's
games,
like,
and that's what everything is. That's the standard.
Yeah, that's the gold standard. So that's like seeing Star Wars as the first movie you've ever seen, and then like you're like, why isn't everything as good as Star Wars?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I get that. But right now you're playing what?
Fallout Shelter.
There you go. That's a fun game though. If you've never played Fallout Shelter on your iPhone or Android or even computer, that is a fun game to play. It really is, and that came out.
That came out
6, 7 years ago?
2015.
Wow.
That came out right before Fallout 4.
And you keep on going back to it once in a while, don't
I
you?
do, and then once I get into it, I play it for probably a couple months at a time because you can just keep it going. Like, I refuse to let the vault fail.
Now that's one of those kind of, it's almost like a sim game, like a Sim City.
But way simpler.
Yeah, that's true. Sim City was programmed to fail. But like a tycoon game, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is, and so that's a lot of fun though. Now what I've been playing is Baldur's Gate 3, which is fantastic. Oh my god, it is it's probably one of the best role-playing games I've ever played. And I think I bought it a couple days ago and I've already clocked like almost 50 hours on it. At the end of the day, after I'm done with all my work, I don't do anything else but play that game. It's like, that's it. It is so good. If you really like player choice and consequence in role-playing games like Fallout New Vegas, like Skyrim, even like Fallout 3, this game is amazing. It is so good, and there's so much to it. Like I could tell already, if I go back and start over and play through it, I'll have a different experience every time because there's so many different choices you make. And that's what I like about video games for me is a player choice. And I'll be the first one to say, I think it is a legitimate art form, just like movies and books and music and stories and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, somebody in my past life used to say, like, that's for kids or whatever. But I always argued this. It's okay to sit your ass down on the couch for 2.5 hours and watch a movie where you have no control over how the movie ends, right?
Just skip an adjective in there that almost flipped out of your mouth.
Fat ass? Nah. I'm just saying, that's okay to sit down on the couch for 2 to 2.5 hours and watch a movie, but it's not okay and it's childlike for someone to sit down and play a game for 2 hours where you're an actual participant in how the story evolves. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. But I'm not going to go off on that.
You don't want to sit and binge watch like Everybody Loves Raymond or...
No, that's my mom. Yeah, no, Raymond. No, not that show. Not that show. Oh. No, I'm choking. Okay, so that's what I've been playing. But like I said before, I've been sick for 2 weeks. I had a surgery back in the beginning of August, so I've been laid up for a while. So I did watch a lot of movies. I just didn't watch anything really good. I revisited 2 movies that I watched a long time ago. One was Starship Troopers, and I still love that movie as much now as I did back in like 1997.
Oh, it's so hokey. I'm sorry.
I know, it's great.
I tried.
It's so good. And that was the point. It's supposed to be a satire, which most people, it went over their heads.
Oh, that always goes over my head.
It's a satire, and so there's a lot of Nazi imagery throughout that, and propaganda throughout that whole movie. I'm sure you saw that part. You got that part. Huh? But I love it. I absolutely love that movie. Not just for the shower scene, and not for all the blood and the guts but watching it again for the first time in a long time, I'm watching, and as a grown man, I'm like, well, this doesn't make any effing sense. Yeah. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, wait a second, I'm seeing these plot holes that like I just kind of didn't care about back then, but I was like, this is kind of dumb, but I still enjoyed it. So I watched Starship Troopers again. I loved it. It's big dumb bug action. That's fine. And then I watched Fanboys again. And Fanboys should have been such a good movie. And I just explained to you about it today. And the premise of the movie is it's like 1999. The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1, is like 6 months from coming out. And 4 friends find out their one friend is going to die of cancer, probably before the movie comes out, and now he's not going to be able to see it. So they're like, well, we're going to break into Skywalker Ranch. We're going to steal a print of the movie so he can see it before he dies. It seems like such a cool premise. But to me, and the writer, Ernie Klein, I think he writes some great stuff. He's funny. He wrote Ready Player One, which I loved. I loved the book. I loved the movie. This one didn't do it for me at all. The guys were just mean.
It didn't do it.
He didn't do it. Didn't do it. No. I don't know if it was...
We just referenced 2 different movies there, in case anybody noticed.
Yeah, I referenced Uncle Palpatine from Star Wars.
And I referenced Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, do it.
He didn't do it for me.
No, he didn't do it. Now, Spaceballs is a good Star Wars movie.
Oh, love that movie.
Well, okay, let me get through Fanboys. Why does this keep moving? Like the ghost keeps on moving it. Look at that.
It's because the bar's away. You know
Don't ruin that. I was saying it was a ghost.
I would tell you if it was a ghost.
This house is
not
clean.
Yes it is.
All right, so Fanboys, there's the premise. I love that premise. I think that's great. And it's just like every joke falls flat. These guys are not the Star Wars nerds that I knew, and I was. Kevin Smith got the Star Wars nerd right, I think. He got them right. Like, I would still hang out and drink with Dante and Randall.
Like I said, they're the nerds who actually get action.
Yeah, they hook up. Sure, I mean, Dante had 2 girls fighting for him. But Fanboys was just, it was way, sometimes it was too heavy-handed. The jokes were just bad. And they go out of their way to make fun of Star Trek fans, which I don't get. They even go to like the birthplace of Captain Kirk, where there's these Star Trek guys having some kind of convention in the park, and they beat them up. And it's just real weird.
Well, isn't Star Trek and Star Wars, like, the fans, aren't they like almost like East Coast, West Coast rap battle kind of thing?
No.
Like, no? I thought they don't, like...
No, not really. I mean, that's a media thing that people made up for whatever reason. I mean, I'm not a Star Trek fan, really. I find the fan base interesting. I find the lore of Star Trek interesting. I also find it weird that they completely screwed it up now, and I don't understand, like, anyone that really loved Star Trek back in the day loving it now. I don't get that. I can't see that because I've tried to watch the new Star Trek, and it's not good. Even though, like, the old stuff, the Captain Kirk stuff, it's cheesy, but the stories are pretty good. Next Generation, same thing. The stories are good. It's slow. It's more brain, it's more thinking man stuff. Star Wars is a fantasy movie. It's, you know, space wizards and laser swords. But that's what I liked. But this movie, you know what? Kevin Smith's in it too, actually, by the way. But so is William Shatner. It had a lot going for it, but when I rewatched it, like, I remember kind of not liking it when I watched it at first, and I rewatched it when I was, you know, strapped to the couch, you know, recuperating after my surgery, and I'm like, this is not good. I understand why this, and some people may hate me for it, but I didn't like it. It's 5. I'll give it a 5. Ooh. Maybe 4.5, maybe. Yeah. The last part of the movie, though, I will say this: they're all in the movie theater together, ready for the premiere of The Phantom Menace, and the one guy looks at another guy, and he says, "What if this movie sucks?" And like, that's the end of the movie, and I'm like, I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
Wouldn't that be sad if this was like the last thing you were ever going to see and you couldn't wait, and then it was that?
I can relate to that.
Maybe that was the whole idea of the movie. Like,
it could have been. It could have been better. And I don't know. I mean, I read a little bit about the production of it. It kind of went back and forth. A lot of studio interference. So who knows? The original script may have been a lot better. I don't know. But this was just.
Wait 20 years, they'll remake it.
I hope not. Is there one more thing I had to talk about? One more thing here's my nerd flag. I did watch the new Babylon 5 animated show.
What's that
animated movie. Babylon 5, I don't even remember the name of it. Babylon 5, The Voyage Home, or Long Way Home, or so it's an animated movie. It was pretty good. Any Babylon 5 fan will like it. if you're not a Babylon 5 fan, you're going to be like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I just remembered something else we watched.
What?
Twisted Metal.
Oh my God! How did we forget that?
I don't know. That was so good.
Yeah. I didn't expect much. I watched the first episode and I'm like, eh. And then one night, because I was strapped to the couch recuperating, I was like, let's watch this. And she actually agreed to watch something crazy with me because she does like post-apocalyptic things.
Love it.
Which is cool.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
But at first I didn't understand why it said comedy. I'm like, how? It
was kind of, there's some things that were funny.
Twisted comedy.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? I think it's only comedic for people like us that like screwed up things.
I will say this. If you haven't seen it yet, watch it. There's maybe 10 episodes, 13 maybe?
Yeah, it didn't take us long to get through it.
Yeah, we blew through that in like a weekend.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal is way better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based off a video game from the 90s about...
Which I knew nothing about, so it doesn't even matter.
Cars with big guns on, blowing things up.
Yeah.
But oh my God, was it good.
Yeah.
What
would you give that?
I'm going to give that an 8.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up there too.
Yeah,
like
and I'm waiting for season 2. It was that good, and I did not expect it to be that good, but it was. And
there was a scary clown in the show, and I still loved it.
Yeah. And I don't really know much about the lore behind the game either, because I played the game maybe
Apparently you don't
once.
have to.
No, you don't.
I knew nothing. I never played it.
They explain it, and I don't know how much the lore actually kind of sticks with the lore of the game. I don't know, and I don't care.
No, and that brings me to the next point that so the Fallout game or the Fallout show is going to be coming out, and I'm not convinced it's going to be as good as Twisted Metal because I have really high hopes for it, and I just
unfortunately
I'm just worried they're just gonna it's not gonna do what it's supposed to do.
I don't have high hopes, and I don't. And the reason why is because. And this is for only Fallout fans are gonna get this. Now we're gonna get in deep right now.
Okay.
New Vegas, that follows the lore of Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas. Fallout 3, 4, and 76 follow the lore of those games, and sometimes that lore is different or contradicts Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas.
Right.
And it's different. It's stylistically different, and it depends on which way this show leans.
All right, then.
Ooh, choking. All right, we're done. We drank all the beer that's here. We almost are done with this bottle of wine.
Yeah, time for bed.
Time for a nap.
Pizza and a nap.
We got pizza?
No.
Not yet.